Today I'm going to show you how to upgrade the Razor Quad 24 volt. We're going to upgrade it to 36 volts using replacement parts that we're going to get off of Amazon, and using mostly parts or tools that you probably have around the house anyway. We're not going to upgrade the 24 volt motor. We're going to leave that in. Everything that I've read on the motor shows that it should handle 36 volts, and we've actually been operating this quad with 36 volts and had no issues. I'm going to start by showing you which screws you got to take off first. First of all, we're going to take off the handlebars, two on each side of here using the hex, and there's actually two more right underneath. I'll show this from another view. That takes off, so you don't have to take off the seat. You just take off the entire plastic body, and then there's two more screws right underneath here, that one on each side, to take the plastic body off. These two nuts right here, remove those, and those are the only two underneath you need to remove. In the back, you don't have to take the entire seat off. Just taking those two off will allow you to take the back off. And of course, the other bolts I mentioned will help you get the plastic frame off, so you can access all the batteries. Okay, now we've got the top off of it. It takes a little bit of maneuvering to get it over the steering frame here, but once you get the body off, it'll still be connected with the wires for the handlebar going through the hole there. You just have to be a little careful not to pull too hard once you twist it and set it over to the side. But you don't need to disconnect all those wires. Just leave those as they are, and you can set the body over to the side. Now, I've already taken the battery cover off. Looks like this. That's 4 screws on the bottom and 1 on the front there, and that comes apart quite easily. Take that off. Take the strap off the batteries there with one screw on each side. So the batteries are ready to come out. The controller right here with a screw on this side, the screw on the other side. We're going to take that out, go ahead and disconnect all the wires, remove that, and we're going to replace that 24 volt controller with a 36 volt controller. Then you can disconnect all the cables, and we'll have new cables that are attached with the controller and with the new throttle controller. Remove the controller, put the new one on. I zip tied it right here to the frame, and once again on the back, because it won't fit where the original one went. Also removed the charger. We are going to install a new charging port, so I removed the old one and disconnected the cable from the controller here. You will have one extra cable left over after connecting all the cables, and that's fine. You can see here which cable it is, and it's going to work perfectly fine without it. So remove that. There's a bit of hot glue on the back side of this, and remove the nut, and then this simply comes right out. All right, on the batteries here, I'm going to show you two options. You can either purchase these. I've got links to those in the comment section. You can either purchase 2 of these in the links, or you can purchase one and remove this and use a fuse cable here, or you can buy an entire cable assembly with your batteries. I'll have links for that also. If you do buy the cable assembly, you will not have to remove these wires, which I have done. Removed those attachment wires, and they already reinstalled these back here. I'll show you in a minute. Well, I'll go ahead and show you now. So I cut off the end of those off the battery right here. It was a bare wire, and then I simply attached it using these attach these connectors here, which will slip onto the new batteries, and you won't have to solder it. We'll attach that a little bit better on the battery using a little hot glue when we're done. So right now I'm about to work on our new battery box. I've got a new box that's going to replace the old plastic case. My son said he didn't need the motor looking plastic case. He said it didn't like motor anyway, so we're just going to use this clear container. Of course, we'll remove the label off of it. That'll help out a little bit. It'll be opened. It'll sit on top of the battery tray. All 3 batteries will sit in. I'll have a link for the specific box you want to buy. It almost fits perfectly with 3 batteries. I did have to take the Dremel tool and remove the corner sections here to make it fit a little better. And there's 2 options. You can either put something in the bottom like a piece of plywood or some styrofoam to have it sit up about an inch. That'll give you the right dimensions for them all to sit down. Or I'm going to use a heat gun and melt the outside a little bit just to make it a little wider at the bottom so they all fit on the bottom. But your choice, and in the next video I'll show you how that looks after we're done with that. Alright, so I got the battery box ready to go. Got the, like I said, I put the heat gun on it to change the shape of the box at the bottom just a tad bit so the batteries are fit all the way to the bottom. I replaced the battery cable here from the negative and the positive using the original plug here. I did not buy the battery cables, but if you want to make it a little bit easier for yourself, you can. That'll save you also this step and this step, which was to use these automotive fuse lines and put 30 amp fuses in each one of those. Connected those, and I used just a little bit of hot glue on each one to help secure those up a bit. You can see the original 2 batteries. That's where I took the cable from to complete the wiring of the new batteries for this plug, which will plug into our new controller. Also bent down the battery tray so that our new battery box is going to fit nicely right here. I went ahead and drilled 2 holes in the front and the back, and I have these zip ties ready. I'm going to set the battery box up, zip tie this to the frame, and then after that all we've got to do is put the charging cable back on, the new one that you'll have a link to purchase for the 36 volts, and replace that, and then put the body back on, and we'll be ready for a test drive. Alright, the last thing you want to do before you attach the body back to the quad is replace the throttle controller on your handlebar here. This is the 24 volt. You can see the 24. I've removed it using that small Allen wrench there. Slid the rubber handle off, slid this off, replaced the 36 volt throttle, replace the rubber handle back on, rear-end the wires, use the original plastic ties here to rewrap the cables, and then I've put the cover back on the frame, and we're ready to put the original screws back in and ready for the test drive. All right, a couple things as we're wrapping up, upgrading the Razor Quad from 24 volts to 36 volts. Just making sure you did get the 36 volt charger. I used the original hole for it, but had to enlarge it. So the location is the same, but I used the Dremel tool to round out the hole just a wee bit to get the larger plug in there. The handlebars, double check those after you get those on. Make sure they're nice and secure. Don't want those coming loose. Turn the on switch on and check to make sure you've got good battery power. And then I like to hold the rear of the quad up, hit that throttle, make sure everything's working properly. and also test the brake to make sure the brake locks out the throttle and kills the throttle for the safety measure. All right, so next view will be out for the test run, and we'll also test the speed, see how much more we get out of it.
Hi, this is my 4-wheeler that I got for Christmas, and I'm going to ride it over some puddles that are frozen and it is very cold out. So I did it.
All right, show me how it works with the upgraded battery.
Okay.
36 volts. How is it?
Great.
It's a lot faster than it used to be.
Yeah. It used to go like medium. Now the other one was 15 volts. Right now it's 36 volts.
Very cool. Was it a fun project?
Yeah.
Us putting it together?
It was awesome. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.
All right, cool. So now we're going to do a speed test for the 36 volt upgrade. We've got our app here. It's going to show us our maximum speed. We're going to put it in Skylar's pocket. Put it in your front pocket right there, buddy. All right, show us how fast it'll go. Drive down the road, come right back. See what we got. Alright, shows the max speed was 10 miles per hour. It's pretty good there. So max speed of 10 miles per hour. Skylar weighs about 55 pounds. And he's 7 years old. Alright, cool.